Welcome to Horses, Hope, and Hustle, the podcast where faith leads, grit drives, and the Western way of life runs deep. I'm your host, Crystal Show, wife, horsewoman, entrepreneur, and believer that God doesn't waste the hard stuff. Around here, we talk real stories, big dreams, and the kind of hustle that's rooted in hope. So pull your hat down, pour that coffee, and let's ride. She's genuine to her core, tough in all the right ways, and seriously one of the hardest working humans you'll ever meet. From cattle to cow horse, this episode is the humble hustler, Naomi Bancroft. Well, so for people who don't know the Naomi Bancroft, tell us a little bit about your program and all of the things you have going on with it. With cows and everything.
So we start a few horses and show some cow horses. Also take care of out cattle. I used to ride pins every morning in the feed yard. I got my 10-year t-shirt for that one. I don't do that no more. That is a tough job. There's no place hotter and there's no place colder in the world than a feed yard. And if you've rode pins, you know what I'm talking about. So I did that for like 10 years also with training the horses once I got out of school. And now run some of my own cattle with one of my best friends. I don't know really why, but we ended up in business and it's just been that way. So we run a few cow calf, and then I buy and sell some feeder calves, and that's what I use to get the horses worked for the show stuff, and then we take care of anywhere. We've had as many as 5,500 head of yearlings on grass in the summer. Then this year we only had about 800 head that we took care of, and so the horse side has grown quite a bit, so we're not taking care of much outside cattle, but that's my sanctuary. That I really enjoy getting them horses out and using them for a job rather than just riding into the arena, and it's good for their minds and it's probably even better for my mind. So
yeah,
that's kind of what we do. A lady that I'm in business with, her nephew just started working for us, and we had another assistant that just left to go chase other dreams, and she was with us for 8 years. And so it's kind of a family of a mixed family type deal, I guess. So everybody just does what needs to be done. So yeah.
I love your guys' barn too. It's like the perfect misfit ranch or something. Like everybody just comes from their own place in the world, but it's just like home there. I loved riding there when I lived in Kansas.
I think that's kind of what we always wanted to make it. Is a place where people would feel safe to be there, and an outlet if you're struggling with something or whatever. And we always want to keep it, where you feel like you're included. So, and the horses, I think and that's the thing about the horses, they bring people together that way. And we try to keep it as much about the horses as we can, and still be competitive and go from there.
Yeah. I do really admire your guys' barn for that, because it really is more than just I don't know, like you said, you feel comfortable there. Like I said, I wish I didn't live thousands of miles from you guys. I'd still be there. I was there a lot.
We had a lot of fun.
I run away from my problems and go to Naomi's.
we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, we did. So, when I finally got to know you, it should also be noted, Naomi has the scariest RBF face ever in the world.
It keeps my friend group small, but the circle is really strong.
Yeah, once I got to know you, I was like, are you that scary at all?
I'm not near as scary as Tawny. Everybody thinks she's nice. She's mean.
Oh, that's so funny. What did you go to school for before you started getting into the cow horse?
Oh, well, I told everybody I majored in basketball, but because I hated school.
Right.
But I did animal science ag business. I
Hmm.
started out at Colorado State University and playing ball there, and I did do equine science there. And in the preseason, I blew out a second knee ACL in that number, so I had a red shirt that year. And I know I can remember having a conversation with my mom, and she told me, she goes, "If you don't want to play basketball no more, then that's fine. If you just want to go to school." And I said, "Well, I still got to go to school. I can't just start training horses." She's like, "No, you're going to school." I said, "Well, then I better play basketball because I won't make it through school. I won't pass. I won't stay focused. I need something to keep me focused." So then I ended up transferring to Hays State in Kansas and playing my last 4 years there, and then came back home and started training a few horses out of mom and dad's place. And at that time, Tawny, she worked for me, and I love my parents to death, but there was no way I could live there, and so we actually leased a house in town. There was three of us that just got out of school, and we had a lot of fun there. And then I'd drive out to my folks, and I just had a round pen and some pins there, and I'd put a few rides on them, and then just go ride them through the pastures. As soon as I kind of pull their heads around, and so it's kind of around then. I think Tawny and we were out checking some cows, and oh, she can bullshit with the best of them, and I probably wasn't near as good as I thought I was at that point. And I told her one day, I'm gonna ride for more than these damn soap weeds, and she's like, "Well, let's do it." And so she kind of pushed me, and I pushed her, and getting out of college, I didn't have any credit. I got everything luckily paid for by playing basketball, but at the same time, I couldn't go get a loan nowhere. She luckily had some credit. Honestly, that was probably the biggest reason why I went into business together, because we didn't know how the hell to get something set up, and went into the FSA office and was shooting for like a horse training operation, and they said, "Well, horses aren't livestock, and so we can't do anything for you." I said, "Well, what if we do a grow yard?" "Well, we can do something with that." So we went in as a horse training operation, came out as a cattle grow yard, and that's kind of how we got the ability to finance the place. And so we've always had cattle on the place and light calves, and then at that point, that's when I started going and helping out at some feed yards. A really good friend of mine, he was a head cowboy. They had about, I think it was right around 12,000 head at the time, and he was by himself. He didn't have any help, and he called me and asked me if I'd come and help. And I said, "Heck yeah." And so I would go ride pins with him in the morning, and then come back and ride the horses. And I wouldn't call it the best way to try to get into the performance horse world, but I guess it's the way we chose.
Yeah.
It's been a different path, that's for sure. I still can remember Tawny asked me, she goes, if you're going to show in something, what would you want to do? And I said, "Well, the cow horse, that looks like you could still go use those horses outside and that number. And they look like the most rounded show horses out there." And I said, "But I just don't know where to show them at." She goes, "Well, I'll go to State Fair and I'll watch." So she went to State Fair, watched it, came back, said, "Yep, you can do it." I was like, "What?" There's a few years of rough there, but luckily had some really good mentors, kind of took us along and really helped us out and gave me some more guidance other than just trying to figure it out on my own.
Yeah. How long ago was that
Oh,
you
gosh.
guys first?
I think we bought the place in 2011. So I graduated college in 2010 and wrote a few, and then we finally got all the paperwork and all the boring stuff together and ended up buying the place in 2011. So been there, same place since then.
Yeah. You guys have added on, like, because their indoor wasn't there, was it?
It wasn't. I think we got the indoor in maybe the winter of 2011, and Tawny's parents helped us out and put it up. And then when we got the money to buy the place and we could pay them back, um, and then like the big outdoor, like we built all of it aside from the building. Um,
Mhm.
Luckily, I learned how to weld, and so we welded all the pins and built all the lean-tos. And now, since you've been there, we've got more lean-tos and that number. I only have 4 stalls inside still,
Mhm.
and then everything else is outside and that number. But uh, eventually, I'm gonna get enough stalls and then just wire it electricity to it so that we can have a few more slicked horses. But I don't know. Everybody up here is starting to kind of. I mean, yeah, you're fancy show horses. You want to have them slick, but
Mhm.
it's so hard. You know how it is to keep
Yeah.
that hair off of them. So if you don't have a huge barn, so and I
Yeah.
don't. I mean, if I got 10 stalls, I think that'd be awesome. I don't really want a 50 head stall barn. Watching some of these guys, that's not for me. I like to have a few nice ones there and then just go make good horses. That's what I enjoy the most.
Yeah.
So,
Did you grow up around horses then?
um, so yes and no. My dad roped a little bit, and we used horses. Uh, he has a cow calf herd and farms a little, and nothing major like huge, but enough to support the family. And then mom always worked. And so I would help him with that. And then my brothers, they worked in construction in the summertime. And I think I was like, well, I'm 14, and mom told me I needed to go get a job. And I told her I wasn't going to go flip hamburgers. And she said, well, you gotta start making money somehow. And I said, well, if I do it, I train in horses. She said, you can't make money training horses. And she was right. But I was like,
Dang it.
I did find some suckers that let me start. So I think I started training horses for the public when I was like 13. And that's how I kind of made my summer income. And then it worked out really good because then I was still there at the house. So if dad needed help, I was terrible at farming. I fired myself at a young age from farming. And I think dad was in full agreement. And so I was like, I'll take care of your cows, but you drive that tractor. And so, yeah, that's kind of how I got started doing it. So,
What was one of your first cow horses? What was your first show like? Your first
oh, I
actual.
was scared shitless. Way more nervous than I ever was on the court. So my first show I went to, I took a stud horse, Murata's Golden Ray, and they just retired him. He showed for quite a while. Took him as a 3-year-old to the Colorado Futurity, and I can remember that was kind of when everybody was still working out of the herd first, and we did the herd work, and I think we were 70, and I thought, well, I guess that's good, but I didn't know. And then we went into the reining, and at that time, to me, if I caught my lead changes, and he always would stop. It was getting him to run was the hard part to stop, and I didn't know what I was doing, so that didn't help. But got through the reining. I don't remember what we marked there, but it was still kind of okay for the lower level open stuff. And then we got to the fence work, and I bounced that cow out of every corner in the arena. It just wasn't good. And so, but I kind of was successful through 2 of the events. So I thought, well, maybe I do stand a chance. Well, then I got my ass handed to me the whole next year. And that horse was, the next year I rode that horse for half ownership of him. And then the guy, he wanted out, so we went ahead and bought him out. And then literally the next show we took him to was when I finally won my first check on him. And
Awesome.
and that horse, I mean, I owe everything to him as far as giving me that chance. And we raised a few colts out of him. We didn't have good enough mares to put with him, but a few of them made it to the show pen and that number. most of them ended up ranch horses, rope horses, and went down that way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they just retired him. I think he's packing some kids around now. So
Yeah. I didn't realize he was your very first show horse.
he was that poor horse. He went through more training programs and never left the place till he was, I don't know, 8 or 9 when we sold him.
Yeah.
So
And he was a good boy.
he was. Yeah. He tolerated me trying everything on him.
So now, how many horses do you have now? Or outside horses or show horses?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I don't know. They all get fed. They all get rode. It kind of fluctuates, because I got a lot of non-pros. I would say that non-pro program, that horse, he really got me an in and showing, but then I ended up doing more of a non-pro thing, and I mean, I enjoyed a show in that number, but just financially, didn't have the clients at the moment, that could afford for me to go show their horses, plus them go show their horses. And so I did a lot more, getting them broke in that number so somebody else could go show them. And I won enough money on that horse and knocked me out of all the lower level stuff until they changed the rules. And so I've really had to work hard at learning how to show a limited age horse, because most of the money I won was in the bridle, because I kind of started figuring some of it out, And so I've got a few now that I get to show consistently, and I feel like honestly this year I finally actually got a chance. I had 3 Derby horses last year. I had some futurity horses, and so I actually got to get into the pen those last couple of years, and that's really helped. But yeah, I can remember when one of the first times I showed him, I come out to check my bit. My hands are shaking so bad I couldn't get the throat latch undone. I got that undone. I just slapped it up past his ears and turned around and went walking out, tried to get away from people, because I struggled with people, and they all thought I was mute or something. And go walking out, and pretty soon I was like, something feels wrong. And I turned around. Hell, I was just dragging the bridle. And luckily he was a really good minded stud. He didn't go try to beat anything, but he just shook his head and the bridle came off, and I didn't realize it. I was just dragging the bridle across the pen for about 30 feet. And I run over there and threw it back on him, and I think I better do the throat latch back up. So, yeah.
That's funny.
Live and learn.
Yeah. I mean, how many non-pros do you have now? Because your non-pros have had phenomenal success over the last, a while now.
Yeah. They've, I don't know exactly a head count on them, but I probably got about 6 or 7 that come and ride pretty consistently. And then I have a lot of people that just come, they may not show as much, but just come to, improve themselves too. Some want to kind of mess around, maybe doing some of the versatility stuff. They, got a young family or whatever, and they can't travel as much in that number. Christy Miller, she's been very successful. And actually she just won the non-pro 2 reign out there in Idaho when we was out there. Megan Anderson started riding with me here last year, I think. I don't know, that might get me in trouble, but she well, no, she came a few years. She's been coming for a little while, but she kind of had some unfortunate stuff with a horse that I had in training with her at Storm. Ended up having to put that horse down. A tornado came through, and a post hit her in the head and messed her up. And yeah, it was a really bad deal, because she'd just taken her down to shoot, I can't even remember what show she was at, and had done really well with her. It was their first show out, and she was so excited about her, and got home, and then she was planning on bringing her back to me like the next week after she got home, and a storm came in, and it was real bad, knocked her barn down. I mean, that was when Nebraska was having all those bad tornadoes there and everybody's getting hit, she was one of the places. And so she then didn't really want anything to do, but her son was kind of getting into it some, and some of her friends finally talked to her and said, "You need something to ride," and started riding this one, and she brought it out just to piddle around while her son was taking a lesson. And I was like, "Hey, what is that thing?" I was like, "I think you should try to buy it." And so she did, and she's ended up, he was an older horse that kind of got kicked out on grass and hadn't done much since his 3 and 4 year old year. And so we stuck him into the bridle, and she did this boxing stuff. And yeah, so she's had pretty good luck this year with him and going to go to the world show with him. And so, yeah. And got some other people that just kind of starting up in the boxing and that number. So, but yeah, enough. Yeah.
Busy.
Yeah. Awesome. I mean, and I enjoy helping, and I really these last few years I have a really nice set of clients, and they're, at the shows, if I'm shorthanded or something like that, they'll all pitch in. They'll help pick stalls. They'll help do this or that, and then they try to keep me on the straight and narrow as far as staying organized.
Yeah,
I struggle with that sometimes.
Yeah. Minor details.
Minor details. We'll get them all rode.
Yeah. That's awesome. I do think from all the people that I've rode with, I love riding with you. Like you said, like, you're very relatable, and like, you don't scream at anybody, which is
try
nice.
Not to. I spent a lot of years in athletics and I had those coaches that I'm pretty sure they probably should have been on something. Yeah. You get yelled at, and nobody responds from getting yelled at. So, and when it comes to coaching, I'll be firm, but everybody's wanting to learn. If they didn't want to learn, they wouldn't have got on the horse. So, and I think that's one thing, maybe trying to figure a lot of this out on my own. I have a little bit different approach to it, and explaining some of it, I had to figure it out on my own to break it down. And so I don't know, every time I was doing stuff with a horse, I always made myself, like, as a mental check for myself, if I can't tell you why I'm doing it, then I probably shouldn't be doing it. And taking that approach coming up, I think, has really helped me in helping other people. And knowing that everybody learns a little differently. So trying to, when I get frustrated, I think everybody's kind of figured out too, if I get frustrated, it's not that I'm frustrated at them, I'm frustrated at myself, because I need to figure out a better way to explain it and try to break it down. And but yeah, nothing much good's come out of yelling. So now going down the fence, yes, I will step it up and yell a little bit more. But we have that discussion prior to, and it is a life and death, and you must be serious about it, but like my boxers, most of them, and they're so competitive themselves, they don't really need somebody to yell at them. They need somebody to say, "Hey, you're all right. You're doing better. Just we'll clean it up." So, yeah.
Do you think your program, like, as far as like training and even like coaching, is different? Like, being a woman in the field, do you think you approach things different, or like even like your training, like ride them, maybe different?
Obviously, naturally, yes. I wouldn't say that the biggest part where I would say is just I physically can't pull as hard as a man can. And my biggest thing that I preach, and I'm preaching it a lot right now with Tawny's nephew helping, he's a 19-year-old kid, and he's strong, he's athletic, and everybody, wants to pull with their hands in that number. And And I'm like, listen, it's working now, but the wheels will fall off. And so, yeah, I would say it does to a certain degree, but there's also some things where, like if I was a little stronger in the upper body, maybe I could get through something just a titch faster.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I don't know if that it would stick.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's a positive, negative. I mean, I think it's both ways. Um, the biggest thing is just going out there and doing the daily grind and just getting them all rode and making them all better horses, a little bit every day. I think that's the biggest thing is y there's no shortcut. I would honestly say in the coaching, that might be a little bit different. But at the same time, I've worked with a bunch of other guys that are really, really good coaches. And I've worked with a bunch of guys that maybe don't coach as well, but are really, really good horsemen.
Yeah.
And so I think it's an individual thing, you know.
Yeah. I know
So
the things that you taught me, like riding with my feet, has helped me tremendously, even with my stud horse, because I never would have been able to manhandle him through things. And Brian was on in the other day. It was so funny. They started healing, and he's like trying to figure out how to ride a cow horse, not a straight rope horse, which is the whole
mhm,
thing. His butthead stud like wouldn't move his feet. He's just being lazy. That's all. And I'm like,
mhm.
use your feet. And he goes, doesn't make any sense. How do you use your feet to back them up? And I was like, I wish Naomi was here to tell you because I don't know. That's what Naomi taught me, and it works. Like, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you there. That thing always stuck with me. So
Yeah, move your feet and watch your cow, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I don't think I
yeah,
would have as good of patience coaching, or maybe it's just like not supposed to coach your spouse thing.
yeah. You shouldn't help anybody you've seen naked.
No.
That is a golden rule, and it's a good one to live by.
Yeah.
I did not coin that one, but it is maybe one of the best advices. Luckily, my fiance, he has nothing to do with riding horses. He completely stays out of it, and it's best that way. And I stay out of his farming. Like I said,
Well,
I
there
got
you go.
fired. I fired myself at a young age from a tractor, so we're all good.
Everybody stays in their lane.
Yeah, it's best that way. No veering. If you're going to use the indicator, let us know you're gonna veer.
Oh, that's hilarious. What does he farm there around there? Everything?
Oh,
Corn, beans?
they do a little bit of everything. Not any beans, mostly corn, wheat. They'll do a little Milo, and they have a feed yard. I rode pins there for a while. That wasn't the first place I rode, but they also have a feed yard, and yeah, it's a pretty good size operation and a lot of moving parts, and they're just as busy as we are here at the house because it's hard to find help and
Mhm.
and people that understand it. That you don't have to. And anymore out here, like even if you have somebody that wants to learn, you'd rather that, and if they got the motivation to go do it, you'll help them learn it and kind of help teach them the ways or how that operation runs. But it just it's a lot of hard work, and it's not always, very seldom is it, you know there's not a lot of young kids that are just like, oh, I can't wait to go do that. Maybe they're the smart ones. I mean, it doesn't make sense to want to go do that, but it just, there's a lot of times you get done with the day and you just sleep and go at it again.
Yeah.
So days off don't really come a whole lot. But so yeah, he runs pretty much all the farming side of that operation, and I don't know how many acres exactly, so I won't even throw a number out there on that. But they stay very busy.
Yeah.
So
What do you think keeps you motivated, like over the years, from like when you first started showing to like when you started having some success? What kept you going?
well, I'm really stubborn. That probably, to be completely honest, yeah.
Motivational quote of the day.
Yeah. Tell me I can't, and I'll work 3 times harder trying to prove to you I can. I would say that, and then helping people, like I enjoy going and showing and myself and everything like that, but when to watch somebody else take a horse that I've made and go be successful, it's one thing you get one broken up, you can go show through the pen. It's another thing when they can take them home and keep them at home, and them horses stay good and they know their job, and maybe come in for a tune up here or there, but pretty much once I say they're ready to go home, they get to go home. And people have been very successful with them even after that. And I think that comes back to the, just doing the grind and putting that foundation on them and making sure you don't skip any steps and make them horses very confident in the job they're doing. And so then your non-pros can go. They don't have to live here at the house in order for them to have success. Like Christy lives 5 hours from me, and she'd bring her horse down and put him on a cow once before we go to the show, and we go and show, and she's had a lot of success that way. Same thing with Megan. She lives, she's probably 5-6 hours away. Granted, her horse, I didn't train him as a young horse, but he came and lived with me last fall for a while, and then has come back for a tune-up here and there. He's a little green in the bridle, but she hauls in and takes a lesson or so, and then we go to the shows. So, but I think that's the main thing, just making them horses confident, and then them riders get confident in them horses, and people that have been with me for a while, they know what that product is, and they know it pays to just let them get broke.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so that's, I'd say, the biggest thing. So yeah, just watching other people go have success on that horse, even if it isn't quite as good as you thought that horse could look.
Noted.
It's okay. You can fix it.
You can fix it.
Yeah.
Oh. Hang tight. We'll be right back after a quick word from our sponsors. This episode is brought to us by Big Sky Horse Sales. From Montana to Arizona, Big Sky is your trusted online auction platform for quality rope, performance, ranch, barrel, and trail horses. Check out our Wickenburg online sales series December through March. Shop current consignments and stay tuned for the 2026 sale lineup, or contact us today to book your custom event at bigskyhorsesales.com. Big Sky Horse Sales, built on trust, backed by quality. What's been your favorite horse over all the years? Do you have a favorite?
I mean, obviously the yellow stud was close to the heart. I had a CD Diamond mare that I absolutely loved. She was not easy. Oh, she was terrible. She's just as stubborn as I am, and so that one was a challenge to get trained. And I was riding pins at the time, and I was ready to just chunk her out for a rope horse. And last ditch effort, I was like, "Oh, you're just gonna go ride pins." And I don't know if it was just because that life was so terrible or what, but I did that on her for a couple of weeks, and then I rode her in the arena, and it was like a whole new horse, and she was ready to agree. So, I don't know if it was the frigid trailer ride to the feed yard and our version of they stand the horses on the dill and it shakes. What are those things called?
Vibraplate thing, or
yes, Yeah, our old steel trailer, that's our version of that. And thing vibrates and shakes all over the place. Them show horses, you load something in there that's never been loaded, only been in like nice fancy slant load trailers and stuff, and they like get in there and they like look around like, you taking me through a haunted house or what? They just start vibrating everywhere. You've seen it. It's still the same one.
In the summertime, I remember my little bay horse. We get to wherever we're going, and they're just like caked in dust. Like you can just like see his eye.
Yeah, and then you blow that dust off your saddle, and you're ready to rock and roll. Yeah. I've since cut the back of the roof off and made it a 3/4 top, so
nice.
it's real fancy now. But it hasn't had the paint job yet. But it's seen a lot of miles.
I believe it, because that one summer that I went and rode with Bailey a couple times and you, that was a long freaking day. My butt was so raw. I've never. And I rode Mary. I rode your horse Mary the one time, and you're like, if you go to rope, don't sit up. And I was like, okay. And so conscious. And then we got in the moment, and I don't know how I stayed on that horse. Because I did. I sat up too far, and she was gone. I was like, oh. See, I think she left with the guy. I don't remember, but yeah.
Yeah, that one it didn't matter. I got in a mess with calving a bunch of cows out, and then we got into a bad scour mess, and so I roped a lot of calves on that little mare. And she could cut back with the calf, and that's what I was like, you sit down, because that calf ducks back. She is going with it. She was a lot of fun. I enjoy making the show horses, but man, those ranch horses, you've been through some of the worst stuff with them, and so those really leave an impression on you. Like, I mean, I don't like it when one of my show horses is sore or something like that, but it even bothers me more when one of my using horses is struggling with something, because you've been through hell and back with those things, and there's good chance they've probably saved you from getting into a wreck a time or two too.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and I got a little roan mare right now that I bought her as a 2-year-old, and she's been through everything with us as far as calving stuff out and going and gathering stuff that's escaped, and you can't find them all. And yeah, and you can throw anybody on her. Like she'll pack a kid around, or she's scared to death of buffalo, though. She will not get over that buffalo. She draws the line, and I've agreed with her that as long as she'll still do her job, if the buffalo are in sight, we're golden. But she's not gonna do anything with those buffalo. She's like, I'm out. I'm like, well, you're good enough. I don't need to stress you about that.
Yeah.
But yeah. So now them good using horses, those are hard to replace, and even harder when something's going on with them, because they're the ones that you throw that saddle on, and wind's blowing 40 mile an hour and blowing snow, and you just bundle up and they're in it with you. So
I think even from a sale point, my friend that owns the Colorado Horse Sale, we've talked about this, and we both agree, like, solid ranch geldings are in such high demand for, like, even on a sale level, because you can literally take them and go do just about anything. And especially if they come from someone who knows how to put a good handle on them, even if somebody wanted to go show a little backyard versatility thing, or they wanted a rope or whatever, they're solid.
Yep. And and that's the thing. Just getting them broke and just going and putting a reason to, why do we pull your nose around here? Well, if you don't move your feet, then we got to ride an extra. It might be 2 miles to go get around that one. You never know what that situation was going to be. And so, yeah, and those horses, they're not dumb. They figure it out. I can remember I had a little blue blood 2-year-old, and he'd run and drag his ass. He was super talented, but he just wouldn't gravitate on the cow like I thought he should be at. So I threw him in the trailer, and we went, and it was a little earlier than this time, it was early fall, and so it was a big fall run, getting a lot of balling calves in at the feed yard and stuff like that. So we was doctoring quite a few, and that was one portion of the feed yard I did really enjoy, was starting a pen of calves and the challenge of that. And so we were pulling a lot of calves, and that was when Bailey was working for me. And I tell you what, it didn't take that horse very long to figure out when he didn't move his feet and get over and pay attention to that thing out in front of him, his day got longer. And then it was like the light bulb just come on bright, and he ended up being a really, really nice horse. And a youth kid showed him and got along phenomenal. And then unfortunately he had a abscess that turned into a septic thing, and we ended up having to put him down. He was in Littleton and all that. And that was terrible. Like that one was hard. And it was really hard to watch the youth kid that was her first nice horse, and she had, given up a lot in order to even purchase the horse. And so yeah, that one kind of stunk, but then found her something else, and that one's kind of been in the pain. It's like nothing will just, line out for them. But
yeah,
they keep having faith. I said, I am so sorry. This should be working out a little easier than what it's going. They're like, nope, something big's around the corner. I'm glad you guys have the faith, because mine's quivering a little bit. So, but another like great clients, and believe in the process, and I think that's the other thing they know in them young horses. If they, even if they don't make a show horse, they're still gonna go make a good horse, because they get rode outside, they go move cows, they, and they get real life experience. So like we're putting fence in right now. I gotta go get some wire, but putting in a bunch of fence right now to turn cattle out on wheat pasture. We actually got moisture through the summer, and so we got some wheat. So we're gonna turn some calves out on wheat, and so then horses get to go trot through some calves and stuff. And I'm lucky to have that opportunity for them horses to just get them out and go do something different. And and there's some days where maybe I don't feel as lucky when things are going the wrong direction, and you get short on time and you can't get everything covered like you need to. But then I have to remind myself that, hey, these horses are broke. A day or two off isn't going to hurt them. What they get in return pays in dividends versus just going and doing the same thing in the arena all the time. So,
yeah.
But yeah, there's always something going on around here. That's
yes,
and it's even and it's even more interesting now with Tawny's nephew here, because I call him Tawny 2.0, and you just don't know. You don't know if you know him, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But you just never know which direction the tables are going to be.
I feel like that probably keeps you even more on your toes.
The other day I'm feeding calves, and I just got a skid loader with a hay processor on it, and I see movement out of the corner of my eye, and I look out the window, and he's doing round-offs through the yard. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Oh, I just got bored. I decided to start doing some round-offs. There's stickers out here, right? And then he told me, he says, his latest one, he goes, I was thinking about, like, you got to make good choices, good life choices. I said, yeah. Well, I was thinking about doing a backflip off of a horse, but I decided that might not be a good life choice. I can do a backflip, but I've never done it off of a horse. And so I don't know if that'd be a good life choice. I said, probably not, because I don't know that your insurance is good enough. So there's all sorts of colors around here.
Oh, I love it so much.
Yeah.
I feel like we obviously have to mention Tawny, because
T-Fi,
she's
T-Fizzle,
the other legend. How long have you guys been friends?
Well, we knew each other since high school, played sports against each other. She went to school in Stratton. I went to school in High Plains. High Plains was 2 small towns consolidated. So it was only 14 miles from school to school. And so we knew each other through sports and stuff like that. But when I was in high school, I didn't want to talk to anybody. I just wanted to go home, ride my horses, and I didn't see the point in visiting with people. And Tawny's pretty persistent. She loves people. She talks to everybody, and I mean, and she's the president of the CRCA and show manager, and she's always talking to people. It never stops. That or she's on her phone and acting like she's talking to people. I don't know, but so yeah, we knew each other clear back then, and she always says she just wore me down. She knew she annoyed me at the beginning, and she just wore me down till I would let her be my friend, is how she puts it. So, but yeah, no, there was 3 of us girls that just really got along great. Unfortunately, one of them passed away here a couple years ago to a brain tumor. But we've just always been pretty close, and I mean, she's just part of the family. She's like a sister, an older sister. I make sure to remind her she's older. You know, and so then we get together. My family gets together. We all get together, and her family gets together. We all get together, and so yeah, it's just kind of how it is, I guess. But yeah, she knows a lot of people, and a lot of people know her, and some of it's good, and some of it's bad, but we've had a lot of fun. Some we can talk about, and some we can't talk about. But
I feel like you do balance each other very well, because really, like, you're very opposite.
Yeah. You know, the funny part is, like, as people started to get to know both of us in the horse community, you know, everybody thought that Tawny was like the fun go lucky type person, and she is. I was like, man, it's not always that way, guys. Like, she can be really mean. Like, she can tell you off and tell you to go pound sand, and you'll smile and say, okay, that sounds like a great idea. And then as you're walking away, realize what she just told you. And you're like, she got me again. But and I think that's the other thing. Like, she helped me a lot in learning how to visit with people. I mean, and the fact that I can even talk on this video thing right now is a lot to her, because I literally did not talk to anybody when I first started showing horses. And still there's people who think I don't talk, but oh well. And then there's some people who wish I'd shut up. So, and it just, but yeah, she was the one that really pushed me to, and made me realize, yeah, you can get along as great as you want with a horse, but if you can't get along with people, then it's probably not going to work out very good for you.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so.
I think it's awesome what you guys have built together, because it's cool to watch both of you, like, contribute your strengths.
Yeah, and like, you know, like Tawny. Yeah, and that's like, you know, Tawny, she thought she wanted to be a horse trainer at the beginning, and then she realized she was way too big of a pussy anyway. so when she realized that, and I let her realize it on her own, then she went other areas and made up to help make up the money to try to do this all, make it all work. Because obviously, to push horses up and down the road, we had to own some of them at the first, because I didn't have a name and I didn't work for anybody, and so it was all coming out of our pocket. And she roofed houses. That's not a very fun job. And she did a little bit of everything. Worked for some of the farmers, and now she has her CDL. And if she's not going to horse shows and doing that number, then we bought a truck, and that's another. I mean, we just kind of, our business has a whole bunch of different areas. You know, we got the cattle. She drives the truck and hauls liquid fertilizer and stuff, and then we got the horse training, and our business model kind of looks a lot like how our everyday looks, is you never know what direction we're going, but there's something going on. So
Yeah.
And it's always been, and that's just kind of when we agreed to do all this and go into business, it was the biggest thing we said is I'm never going to just pin you down and say like, I told you so. Every decision we'll talk it over, and if we agree to it, then we're both on board, and it's not going to be no finger pointing. And we've managed to keep it that way this whole time. And to say it's always, obviously it's not always been all roses, but we both, we went through enough real life stuff that when it comes to business, that's just numbers and lines, and you can figure it out. It might be uncomfortable, but it's not, it could be worse. So,
Yeah.
and I think that's a lot of the reason is just from living real life.
I think that's what's so cool too about your guys' program is it's very like unconventional, non-conventional, whatever. But you guys have made it work. Like,
I don't know how either. And like somebody the other day, they're like, if you could do it all over again, what would you change? And I was like, I don't really know, because it's been an adventure, and we're both proud of what we got here. And of course, everybody wants. If you don't want more, then you're going backwards, right?
Right.
But and we've had people help us out, at different times, but we've just kind of put our nose to the grindstone and just went to it. And then in the end, I've always been able to keep it for a safe place. We've had multiple people, and I think that's the other cool part. Like Tristan used to be Cooper. I can't remember her married name now, but
I can't at the moment.
I can't think of it. We babysat her. She was out here all the time. And then today she just showed up in the yard right before I called you. I said, well, I gotta go do this podcast thing and then I'll be out. I said, did you bring your boots? Yeah, I brought my boots. I said, okay. And so I think when you have something where people come back to it or want to come back to it, then you're doing something right. I know we're not always doing everything right, that's for sure. But at least as far as people enjoy coming back here, people care, and it's a really neat community. Whether it's our farrier, our vet, just everybody's, on the same team, and I think that's really cool. And I don't think that happens very often.
No.
So it's always got a family feel to it, maybe.
Yeah.
So
I think people too see like one, you guys are so genuine. Like there's no
it works for some and it works some it don't. You're either in or you're out. There's no sitting on top of the fence. It's either you're in or you're out.
Yeah. But yeah, you guys are like so genuine. And I think people realize that you have worked for everything. And again, like it just makes you more relatable. Like, yeah, that's what I think. That's my 2 cents. For what it's worth. Just like, oh my God, we hadn't talked forever before we talked on the phone the other day.
And we talked like we just picked up from.
Yeah. I was thinking about that. I'm like, I don't think I've seen you. I saw you at that one horse show in South Dakota, but that would have been in like.
That was a long time. That'd been like 2021.
So 2021 was probably like the last time I saw you, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And then crazy.
Yeah. But I think, and I'm proud that that's what this place has turned into, and that even if you go on and do other things in life, or your life takes you other places, there's still a home here, type deal. So, because if you don't have that, then I don't think it's worth doing it.
You guys have snow there yet, or is it just cold?
We had a little, just a skiff. and it's not even that cold for our normal, but it's like it's kind of it's actually been warmer first thing in the morning, and then some clouds are moving over and the wind's blowing,
Mm-hmm.
and so you're like kind of get your hopes up it's going to be a nice day, and then it gets cold, and then you weren't mentally as tough as you should have been, and that breeze comes up, and then like we're still getting above freezing through the day, but been 30s, low 40s, but that wind, that's the worst part.
Yeah.
And I don't like it near as much anymore.
Yeah.
Not as tough as I used to be. I've frostbit the hands too many times. They don't circulate like they need to.
Ooh, yeah, that's not fun.
Yeah. So,
Doesn't
but it has a bit. I mean, honestly, our weather's been pretty forgiving this year. And getting cold enough at night, you gotta go break ice, but
Yeah.
it warms up during the day for the most part. So it's tolerable. The ground
Yeah.
is the arena. Oh, by 10 o'clock, we can get into it outside, and sometimes I put salt down, but it's so tough on everything to put that salt down that I try to wait as long as possible to do that.
Yeah.
So,
Do you have to salt your indoor arena or just the outdoor?
um, I try to wait as long as I can, so I don't have to use as much. If we have a really cold winter, then I will salt it. But if we can get sunshine and be 20 or warmer for the most part, then we can get along in there. The then keeping that wind off.
Mm-hmm.
We can keep things from freezing up too bad. But um, most generally, our weather's we might have 2 weeks in January or a few weeks in February where it gets extremely cold and the crazies of a wind chill of a -40 and that number.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're kind of you really don't get anything done except for just keeping things alive at that point and trying to keep water in front of everything. So riding is the last thing on your mind when those things come around when you're trying to take care of
Yeah.
cattle and horses. So
Yeah. Yeah.
they get some time off and I can
Oh,
hear the wind blowing.
the sun's shining. I just slide my desk back because I had a bad glare on
It's
from the
tough.
sunshine.
So tough.
Just
I'm
say
just starting to feel my fingertips, if that tells you.
ew. That sounds miserable. I'm glad
It's
I'm
cold.
not in the winter.
Yeah, and it's not even that cold today. It's just a little bit of a wind.
65, they said today. So frigid.
I'm gonna hold my comments.
Yep. Yep.
Good times.
Better than tornado and golf ball hail.
Nah, you can see those tornadoes
That's true.
most generally.
That is
And
true.
when you can't, you just go to sleep. Don't think about it.
Yeah. I don't know. I never could sleep. If there was a chance of a tornado, I didn't do well in that situation either.
We don't have a basement here, and everybody's like, "What do you do if there's a tornado?" I'm like, "You get really close to your faith."
That's awesome. I mean,
They're
that's
like,
one way.
"What do you mean?" I'm like, "You pray."
So, what have you got to show coming up this year? Or what's some of your guys' goals and plans?
I got a couple Derby horses. Um, we own both of them. And then I don't really have much for young horses right now. I got some 2-year-olds that came in that they're gonna make really nice non-pro friendly type horses, but nothing like the open. Um, just had one come in. It's really green. She's talented. We'll see what she ends up being.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, this feels so funny. You think you'll get to that spot where you're like, oh, I don't really have anything, and I don't know if this, and then all of a sudden, something comes, and
Mhm.
I think that's maybe the part that I've learned in maturing in this is that, it's easy to get worked up and worried if horses aren't there, this or that, and then something always seems to work out. You just keep the faith and just keep doing your job and figuring your way out through it. So I got I got some really nice horses. Um, Trying to get figured out how to get them through the pen is the biggest thing. Um, and yeah, nothing. Got a few coming in, but they're not coming in till later on. As a 2-year-olds, they're a little smaller, so we're gonna wait just a little longer to start them and see what they're gonna turn into. But so yeah, we're just that and started roping a little bit more. Um, and Tawny's nephew, he really enjoys that portion and would like to get into the rope horse futurity stuff, but I told him he was gonna have to learn how to basic horsemanship and that number, and that would take him a lot farther rather than just back him into the box and roll. And so there's a lot of coaching going on right now.
Mhm.
But and I've enjoyed that. It's nice just go do something a little different too.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, so that's kind of where we're at. I mean, we always got a lot of horses to ride. You just kind of just trying to figure out what those horses want to be and as individuals.
Mhm.
So, but
I think it's neat you guys have other outlets for them too. Like it's not like, hey, you're going to be a cow horse. That's your only option. Like, no, I don't want to be that. We can go do something else.
I think that's kind of crazy to have, that mindset, because that'd be like looking at a population of kids and being like, well, you're gonna be a professional athlete.
Yeah.
You wouldn't do that, right?
Yeah.
But every one of those kids, you hope they go and become a productive citizen. And I think
Mhm.
you have to kind of somewhat look at these horses like that. Um, and like as you start having more success in the pen, then it becomes your job to be like, if that's not going to fit what you're doing, then okay, this horse isn't just trash. Let's put it somewhere where it's going to be successful and be what it needs to be. And
Mhm.
and I think that comes on. That's part of our responsibility as a trainer, um, to help them owners out as much as possible, s- instead of just being like, this thing's junk.
Yeah.
It's not junk. It's still a very nice horse. I rode a lot of junk starting out, and I know what that looks like. And it's still a really nice horse.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get, maybe send it over here, or have a younger, lower level rider ride it, and maybe it's not quite good enough for the open stuff, but some of them limited horses end up making really, 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 really good non-pro horses, or a really good versatility horse, or a really good rope horse. Maybe somebody just wants to go jackpot and that number. So yeah, just trying to pick the right path, and you're gonna mess up in that number, but at least you tried.
What advice would you give somebody that's just getting started
Don't do
in
it like I
either?
did.
Your whole episode is going to be just motivational quotes by Naomi.
Let's get some t-shirts going.
We have a merch line. We're going to make some merch.
Uh,
Oh, that is awesome.
I had a really good one liner, but now that's my problem now. I can't remember anything anymore.
Should have
I
wrote it
have
down
really
when we
good
got on the
one-liners,
record.
and I can't remember them later, and I'm like, we need to put that on a t-shirt. But yeah, what'd you ask me? Like I said,
Your
my
best
memory.
advice for somebody that's just getting started.
Oh yeah. Um, Honestly, find somebody that fits you. You know, the this horse world it's so big, but yet it's so small. But find a program you think would fit your style and your way of thinking. There's a lot of phenomenal trainers out there. And they may not, obviously our top end trainers are phenomenal, but the just because you're not in one of those spots doesn't mean you can't learn. And so finding a spot that fits you as a person and has similar goals, and then just work hard. That's 99% of it. You got to be willing to put in the work and be uncomfortable and find a way to be happy about being uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And you might find yourself successful. But it's not for the faint of heart, for sure. But yeah, that would probably be my biggest thing is, if you want to try to do it on your own, then be prepared. Be prepared to do a lot of stuff you weren't planning on doing. And even if you go work for somebody, be prepared to do a lot of stuff you weren't planning on. Because it all feeds together in the end.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, maybe. Is that a good, decent, subpar?
The first one was funny. Now you're like, I did it. Oh, that's awesome. Well,
Yeah.
is there anything else that you would tell the people?
Life's short, have fun.
There you go.
I'd say that's probably the biggest thing we try to live by here.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not enjoying getting up and going doing what you want to do, go do something else. There's no reason to beat your head against the wall to do something, to be miserable. So, that would probably be my biggest thing and that I make sure I'm doing every day. So, but yeah, that's probably all of it right there.
So if people are interested in learning more about your training program, what's your Facebooks? Setting Sun Ranch?
Setting Sun Ranch, yeah, Setting Sun Ranch LLC. Or they can, that'll get them pretty close. I'll get the message.
Your website and stuff's on there, I'm sure.
Yeah, settingsunranch.com, I believe. I don't handle that portion.
I know. But they can find your contact info there.
You can find my contact info. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they'll veer you to me. So, but perfect. Yeah, that would be how to get a hold of us. So,
heck yeah. Well, thanks for taking the time out of your busy schedule to talk to me again. Feels so special. I got to talk to you twice in like the last 2 weeks.
We should at least put it on there. We should talk at least once a month. That should be like.
Agreed.
Yeah. So thanks for having me on here, and I think what you're doing is pretty awesome.
Thank you. It's fun. I asked Brian the other day, I was like, can I just be a full-time podcaster? Because I just love talking. I just get to talk to people, and it's like, I just would rather do that all the time.
You do really good at it too, because you're good at getting people to talk. No, I think what you're doing is really neat.
Thank you.
So
thank you. Well, I'll keep that spot saved for you down here when you guys come rope.
All right. Hold you to it.
Then you could give Brian a lesson.
I bet I have to tell him to use his feet, huh?
Maybe he would listen if you told him.
Sounds awesome. Good. Sounds good. So, alrighty.
Well, we'll talk within the month. We'll talk in January. There we go.
Sounds good. We'll see you later.
Thanks, Naomi.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks for riding along with me on Horses, Hope, and Hustle. If you found even a little bit of inspiration or grit here today, share it with a friend, leave a review, or tag us on socials, and keep showing up for what truly matters. Until next time, stay true, stay tough, and keep hustling.